We spent $500,000 in 4 months, got 315 signed cases at about $1,600 per case. All right, in this video, we're going to show you how we spent $500,000 in about a 4-month span, got 315 signed cases for a personal injury law firm at a cost per signed case of just over $1,600. So there's a lot of different things that we did here. Today, we're going to be talking about how we were able to use one aspect of customer acquisition amplification in order to do this in 4 months. So most law firms do not optimize for signed cases. They do not optimize their ads for the thing that actually matters the most. And they don't use offline conversions. They don't use a 90-day conversion window. And they don't use Google Smart Bidding. And that's one of the things that we were able to do here alongside a lot of other strategies that all blended together using a system that we call customer acquisition amplification in order to generate these results for a law firm that is a pretty well-known law firm. I mean, they do a lot in the personal injury space in the state of Michigan and have done Super Bowl ads, really solid reputation, people who are really trying to help their clients and are doing it in such a way so that they are not wasting time on cases that waste their clients' time, but also are potentially lucrative for those clients, but also are doing the right thing by serving them and getting them the compensation that they deserve if they were in a car accident in particular. And we're, in this case study, we're really focusing on car accident injuries and not slip and falls, not workplace compensation, not those types of cases, because those are the types of cases that these guys tend to sort of refer off, not really their sweet spot. And we're going to be talking about conversion in that car accident attorney personal injury law space. So let's get right into it here. One of the most important things that we did in this case study is we did a lot of deep dive research. So deep dive research is where we go super deep on the avatars, on the people and the types of customer that is the ideal customer for this personal injury law firm. And it's really important that you do this, and it takes time to do it. This isn't really the sexy part of marketing, but is the work that's done behind the scenes and is done in such a way so that they get the right types of people to respond to their advertising and ultimately get the right results for them. So deep dive research for us was a number of different steps. We did about a 2-week study where we realized that there was really 2 distinct avatars. And in most cases, there are multiple avatars when we do this kind of research. But in this case, it was 2. Each one is in a very different spot in the customer acquisition path. And in most cases, avatars are typically at the customer acquisition step. They're at the first step. Well, in this particular case for this personal injury law firm, there were clients who were just experiencing that accident, and then some who are later on in the journey. They have injuries that didn't realize that they were going to be either life-threatening or impact their quality of life, and don't realize that maybe months or weeks later. So those are very 2 different types of avatars that we targeted here. One primarily, which was on Google search ads, which is those who have just experienced a car accident, and then those who have experienced the car accident, but maybe some time had gone by and the injuries are starting to appear that didn't appear initially right after the point of contact, so to speak. So we had to talk to both of those very differently, and we discovered very quickly that each needed its own messaging, its own optimization, and its own bidding strategy. And that is the beauty of deep dive research, is really going deep inside a lot of different sources. And in our case, we use about 16 different sources to do this deep dive research. And it's the first thing that we do. It's the first thing that we do. Not always do we just jump in and start running ads. A lot of times we'll sort of take a step back, take a couple of weeks or so to do this deep dive research. And then out of that deep dive research comes the avatars and the messaging that we want to craft into our ads, craft into our ad copy, craft into our headlines, craft into our images, videos, all that stuff, so that we really talk to that avatar in a deep and profound way, and not just at a surface level like every other personal injury law firm does that's out there. So we did this through a number of different methodologies. First off, we did customer reviews that were on the site. We did some founder interviews. We extensively interviewed the entire law firm, not only the principal himself, but also folks that are on staff. We looked at some customer surveys. We looked at, obviously, their sales pages and their reviews that they actually have on both Google and on their sales pages and inside their website. And we looked at some customer service communications that we actually had when they do the lead intake before they do the case review and ultimately figure out whether or not it's a signed case that they want to assign and they want to take on, which has a very high likelihood of having some kind of settlement for the client and also for the personal injury law firm. So we take all this raw data, these reviews, founder interviews, customer surveys, customer service communications, and then we throw them through what's referred to as a messaging lens. So we're taking this raw data and distilling it down into elements of potential creative ad copy, potential messaging, potential avatars, and how we're going to speak to those avatars in the different platforms that we use for advertising. And in this case, it was Google Search and the Meta platforms, which is some intent-based advertising on Google Search side, people searching for a personal injury lawyer, car accident attorney, Michigan, that kind of thing. And then also people that maybe aren't doing an active search and aren't actively looking for a PI lawyer, but they're looking for maybe some answers or some solutions. And we had to create awareness on the Meta platforms, on Facebook and Instagram, to be able to then have them search for the law firm's name in trade and brand searches. So two very different avatars started to appear here, and it all came from this deep dive research phase, which is absolutely essential. So let's get into each one of these avatars. And in this particular case, this avatar one is ideal for Google Ads. We sort of called this person the Accident Andy. He's just experienced an accident and wants to talk to someone like right now. He might probably even be on site, calling from his cell phone, Googling car accident lawyer, near me, or whatever it happens to be. So it's very important for the law firm to appear in these searches. A lot of law firms, they will battle for these top spots for Google Ads and for Google Maps and bid hundreds, if not thousands of dollars per keyword, depending on where you're at, because these cases, once they actually go through the review process, are obviously worth a lot to the recipient as well as to the law firm. So Accident Andy is the avatar that we created there. So he begins that Google search to find the right law firm to represent him. And obviously he wants justice now. He wants assurance that his financial needs will be met, and he's frustrated that he maybe has to go to the hospital. He's angry. He was hit. There's a lot of stuff sort of happening in the moment here. So you have to sort of speak to that in those ads. And these are probably the ads that you've seen in Google search. You've probably seen them, on TV. Like these are things that are sort of typical in the personal injury law space. But to get it right, you do have to do the research, and you really do have to talk to the market and resonate with messaging that prompts them to take that next step, that next action, which in this case is clicking on the ad or clicking on the phone number in the ad and then talking to someone in the office. So that would be a call, and then that goes to the office. Then the office then does a lead intake form. It then becomes a lead. That's very important. So calls and leads are important, but what's actually most important is when it goes through the case review process, which might take a couple of weeks, may take a month or so. Those signed cases are the things that are really important. And that's what we optimized our ads for. Signed cases, not calls, not leads, because those don't really matter as much. They're obviously very important at the very, very top of the funnel. But for Accident Andy, these are the types of things that we were able to do and create messaging around that were just ideal for Google Ads. So the second avatar was more of a meta advertiser, or more of a meta avatar. These are people that are maybe trolling through going through their news feed. They're on Instagram, they're on Facebook, and then they see an ad and it strikes them and they say, oh, well, maybe, I did get in a car accident, 30 days ago or a month ago or 2 months ago, and bills are starting to pile up and stress of making ends meet is starting to build. Like, I'm really feeling this pain as to whether or not I can make ends meet. Maybe I'm out of work, and I want my financial needs met. I mean, money and medication, for medication and for treatment, like this stuff is starting to pile up and they really want their old life back. So this is a avatar that's very different. And if you talk to them in Google Ads like this, they might not resonate. But if you're looking at the meta platforms, this is ideal for interruption marketing. So this is somebody who's had an accident and the time has passed. So two very distinct avatars and two very distinct wants, desires, frustrations, and fears. So how this kind of works is that we then use this super system called customer acquisition amplification, which creates messaging based upon where the potential client for the law firm is in their customer acquisition path or customer journey. So we use 6 levels of awareness here, going all the way from unaware to outcome aware. In this case, we were really focused on sort of unaware, problem aware, and solution aware. So they realize that they have a problem. Immediacy is there. Maybe in some cases, we might create meta ads where we'll talk to them about, hey, have you been in an accident and are you experiencing some of these symptoms? And maybe they're unaware that there is a solution out there, such as a personal injury law firm, which, this is probably a smaller portion of the population because most people know that personal injury law is a thing. But in some cases, it's just becoming aware that you have a problem and there's a potential solution. And those types of ads are the ones that really resonated with the meta audiences. Whereas somebody who knows, hey, I've been in an accident and I need a personal injury law firm, they're solution aware. They just need some clarity and they need some assurance that this is the right law firm to choose. So very different messaging that goes alongside the levels of customer awareness. And this is taken directly from one of the best books and landmark books on direct response advertising in the history of marketing, which is Breakthrough Advertising by Eugene Schwartz. And there's 5 levels of awareness. We actually added sort of an outcome aware, which is sort of after the fact here on the top of customer acquisition amplification. So with that deep dive research in hand, we started to develop messaging for the different levels of customer awareness and created ads that really started to resonate. And those messages ended up really giving some tremendous success for this customer. And like I said, we spent $500,000 in 4 months, got 315 signed cases at about $1,600 per case. And if you want us to help you do this, if you're a personal injury law firm or need some assistance in getting this type of result for your law firm, feel free to contact us at tier11.com or just, continue to watch videos like this. We'll have plenty more videos like this that will help you get to the next level in your business and help you as a personal injury law firm to get the types of cases where you can get these types of results for your law firm as well. Or you can visit us at Tier 11 or you can email me directly at ralph@tier11.com. Till the next video, talk to you soon.